Happy Friday, everybody. How y'all doing? Is my mic working today? I haven't seen a single hiccup from Streamlabs this morning. Maybe it's not bent all out of shape politically or something. Boom. Nanowires, thanks for the gifted sub to Purple Pros. Thank you for the sub. I feel like every couple of minutes I need to stop and like rattle off a bunch of names of people following and subbing between streams. Y'all are epic. Lots of people in the chat popping off already. This is great. We've got a good one for you. Today we're going to have a special guest, PJ of PJ Beats. For those who are not familiar, get stoked because you're going to get some new ear candy today. And then you're going to go find him after the stream and listen to it again, I bet. He's good. He's got a really cool thing going on, a really fresh vibe that is his and his alone. Honored to know the man. I'm just going to scroll a bit and see what I've been missing. Saf, sorry to hear that work is draining the hell out of you. Eric, welcome back. Glad you're back from being AWOL. And here, from the very start of a stream today, it's amazing. It's amazing. Ben, welcome back. It's been a couple. Thank you for the sub. Saffron, right up with the Brian Eno. The top of the stream. PJ, if you're still here, welcome to the mix, homie. Looking forward to the chat today. If you guys want, you can holler questions at him as well while we're talking. We'll listen to some of his music. He's got a brand new EP that just dropped. Guess it's been about a week. We'll probably do a little bit of producing right after we're done with that. Fairly loose today. We're going to do some feedback for some folks. Subscribers get priority. Drop links in chat if you want feedback on tracks or sound design, or both. Ben, I was actually just having this conversation with someone in a session just yesterday about how there are literally Grammy winners that have used just straight loops and presets straight from the Logic library, going back nearly 15 years now. The Loudest Rat, thank you for the follow. Nanowires gifted a sub to PJ Beats and gifted a sub to Purple Pros. Studio One London, thank you for the follow. Mouse Hill Rip City, thank you for the follow. Oh, that's Ripe City. I read it as Rip City. I'm from Portland. I'm a Blazer fan. Go Rip City. Hey, by the way, for those following, players voted yesterday. There will be the new start to an NBA season on the 22nd of December. Happy holidays to basketball fans. I'm a Blazer junkie. I am not afraid to admit it. Jay Crystal, thank you for the follow. Chris Phoenix, thank you for the follow. JJ Martian TV, thank you for the follow. Ram Music LA, thank you for the follow. NPOV, Triple D 30, thank you for the follow. Gogius Moose Nipples, thank you for the follow. Quinkio, thank you for the follow. Skinny Biatch 95, thank you for the follow. Giams, D&B, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. Each and every one of you. Thanks for hanging. Y'all are feeling generous today. Nice, nice, nice. Zev, welcome to the mix. Hey, speak of the devil, this is actually who I was speaking with yesterday. about people just using presets and loops. Winning awards. Purple Pros, a subscription, will get you video on demand. That's a good thing. No commercials, which means you can watch all the videos you like, day and night, every day of the week, if that's what you want to do. Just watch them and watch them and watch them. The Loudest Rat. I like this name. I like this name. All right, lots of love in the room. Very nice. Studio One London, thank you for joining us today. Are you, in fact, in London? Trance in your pants. Woo! Welcome. How you doing, Ricky? Zav is looking forward to seeing the Warriors back on the court. I bet you're missing them, being out on the East Coast. I saw a sneak peek of one of their jerseys this year, and it's got Oakland right across the front of it. Might even be like Oakland Forever, something like that. It's going to be weird having them just in San Francisco now. Go Celtics, says Ben. Oh my. As long as everyone can just agree that the Blazers are actually the best team, then we can just keep these streams going every day, and we're going to get along fine. I jest, obviously. Oh man. I am so looking forward to seeing some real ball with some real people in the stands again. That would be amazing. Oh, it would be amazing. Why have my alerts changed? What is going on? Another gift. The Loudest Rat, welcome to Team Sub. Ricky, thank you for kicking down. It's a lot of love today. I think baby people are feeling a little bit lighter today. Pittsburgh area, huh? Well, welcome, Studio One. And Studio One says, go Redskins. Hey, speaking of, is there a new name? Is there a new name for the Redskins this season? Has that been decided upon? I don't know. I'm really unsure. Have not followed it. But I got pretty stoked when I saw my kid's face light up when I told him basketball was coming back. All All right, so we've got some really flippin' cool stuff to listen to today. As I mentioned before, we're going to have a little interview action with PJ, and I told him that, hey, let's chill and see, how long it takes to have a few people show up. But y'all are already showing up, so I'm just going to shoot him a quick message and see what he's feeling right now. Maybe we'll just get started right away. Regardless, I'd like to play a bunch of his music for you today. And where? Oh, where? There we go. I'm going to flip through a couple of these sounds that I'm working on, get my head in the game. We're going to pull up some tunes from PJ. We'll start hollering questions at him right away. We'll grill him, tear him to pieces. You know how we are. Savages. Hey, did my Savage hotkey finally stop doing its thing? Did it really? There is no Savage coming up on the screen. All right, so there's one thing that Streamlabs isn't doing well today, I guess. NanoWires has gifted a sub to Studio One. You know, if all these start happening in succession, there's this little hype train thing that happens and people getting all excited, and I think streamers start falling from the sky and I turn into a rainbow. Poof. Oh, man. You guys are great. You guys are great. Keep it going. Keep spreading the love. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm going to get my head in the game, listen to a couple of these sounds. Then we're going to listen to some of PJ's music. Whoa. Maybe Streamlabs is just suffering from extreme latency today because I hit that button minutes ago. I wonder if we're going to get a bunch of savages popping up now. That's pretty funny. EQ your reverb. That's right. There you go. I need to find a little plugin that will actually automate that, right? Tie those things together. You get a command response in the chat and the thing up on the screen. But for some reason, the last time I wired it up, maybe I just didn't do it properly. It wasn't working for me. Sav says, what if I don't EQ my saturation? Oh, Sav. Man. I don't even know what we should do at this point. Maybe we should just power down the stream. Dude, you gotta EQ. You gotta EQ. If you don't EQ, you just leave these little sonic crumbs all over the table, you know? It just gets messy. I jest, of course. All right. So I'm going to play a couple keys for just a minute, get my head in the game. And I think, here, let's just count these really quick. I typically aim for 50 sounds minimum for a release, as I was speaking about in the last stream. I believe we still got about 5 open on this one, and I always kick a few to the curb because I really only want the best in here. So I've got 45. We finished 17 the other day, complete with macros. If you guys are having requests or challenges for the next preset pack being released by OhmLab, you get your voice heard today. You shout at the top of your lungs in that chat and let me know what you want to hear. The theme of this one is lo-fi and detuned. It's going to be called Undone. Think early morning, desert sunrises at Burning Man, a la Flume, heavily detuned, saturated, washy. Undone. Oh, Boards of Canada creeping. I'm going to flip through a few of these and see if I'm inspired to finish one. And then I bet the caffeine will have hit me. We'll bring PJ in. We'll listen to some music. PJ just shakes his head. Well, it's not my fault, you know, if people can't figure out the importance of EQing. I'm just teasing Saffron. What if you don't EQ my delay? Okay, but seriously though, time-based effects, it is pretty important to EQ. So let's just real talk. Delay and reverb, EQ that stuff, man. EQ that stuff. Plus, delay is so much more interesting EQ'd, right? And move that EQ around, right? Bandpass. Make it wiggle. Does God come down and take me away to hell? Oh no, it's much worse than that. Oh no. No, it's much worse than that. You'll probably get like set down in front of SoundCloud or maybe one of these share your beats groups on Facebook, and we'll just hit play for a while until you learn your lesson. Oh, I'm an immortal. That's awesome. Ricky says always EQ. If you listen to Ricky's stuff, you know that he's an EQ junkie like myself. Sounds. You guys hear that? I'm liking this one. This is the one that changes all over the place, hence the name Chimera. Long live Ringmod. This is going to be such a tasty pack. I still need to go back and affect phase modulation on pretty much all of these. Yeah, maybe I will wrap up one of these and then we'll start listening to some good stuff. There's a new EP that dropped just about a week ago or so from PJ, which is why he's here. But I think we'll listen to at least one other thing other than just his EP today, just to give you guys a little treat. What was the last thing that was done in this one? Epiphany, Luft, Tumbleweed. It must be Luft, because I think I was working alphabetically. Oh, no, it couldn't have been. It must have been Dots. Desert Sunrise. Distro check Dots. Dusk. I do not see a dusk in there. I'm going to work on dusk for just a sec. Okay. Distant, dusty keys. If you say OhmLab 3 times in the mirror, Chris will pop out and turn knobs on your modular gear and ruin your settings. Oh my goodness. Oh, hey, I need to make a little note here. before I forget. When I have these little flashes of inspiration, I've got to write them down. So hold on just a second. Okay. Sudden flashes of inspiration. Got to chase them. Oh, man. Oh, I'm loving the chat today. This is great. That airy flutter in that sound, right, PJ Beats? Right? Right? The holy immortal of audio sound design. Oh, man. Oh, it's been so long since I built these. It takes me just a minute to remind myself how I made each one. All right, so let's start with a timbre control up top. LFO1. So I've just got a simple drift and that's it. Okay, so this is pretty bare bones. Zaris must be here because he just got gifted a sub from Nanowires. Ben is feeling it today. Zaris, welcome to the mix, man. How are you? Oh, geez. All right, we're going to add a second wave here. Number 2. We're going to fuzz. Just a little fuzz will do you. Never hurt anyone, right? Just a little fuzz. I mean, you hear those news stories about those kids at Burning Man all hopped up on fuzz. Their sawtooths are all fuzzy. That's a thing, right? Isn't it? All right, wavy up on the bottom, fuzzy on top. Let's see what that sounds like for us as we FM our little sine wave here. Look at that. Let's at least morph it, eh? Let's do a just a simple crossfade on this one. All right. Okay, so we got timbre done. Let's do a little shape action on 2. Okay, I think we should probably bring up our sustain just a touch if we're going to play like that. Okay, let's get into our compression over here. All right. All right, we're just going to do a really simple setup on this one. Where's this one? Yeah, right. So what do we lose? We lose 9 dB, 15 dB. Get a little love on this reverb over here. All right, we're going to stretch that one out and let it just kind of wash into the ethers. Okay, so that, if we're going to wash it that much, oh, actually that's not a good idea. Hold on just a second. Do this down here instead. All right, we'll call this one wash, find a good spot for it. Okay, I think I'm going to change two things on this. I'm going to take a little off the transient here, and then I'm going to put this macro on the X axis of this macro, or of this LFO. Hop over to our matrix and bring it out to gives it that nice little reverse effect. Yeah, that's a nice little shapeshift there, huh? All right. I'm going to name this one, and then I want to listen to some music and start talking to PJ. What are you guys up to? Been ignoring you for a few minutes. Sorry about that. Zaros, I think people missed you, man. Oh, man. Speaking of the Chromophone, Studio One, London, we just reviewed the new Chromophone 3 from Applied Acoustic Systems a couple streams ago. And you are sub now, so you can go check that out. It's a great piece of kit. Not to be confused with the furries. Oh man, furries came up in conversation the other day. Someone that you know wants to draw furries for a living, as in like caricatures of people in furry get-ups, or like just artwork that furries are into, or what? I'm a little curious about what you mean there. And you don't blame him, because at least it's better than working a day job. Yeah, I mean, if it's art, it almost doesn't even really matter what it is. Just do it. Oh, you guys are great. Eric says, I think I know what you're all talking about, but I don't want to confirm it. And grown ass people dressing up as foxes and bears in bodysuits, then yes. Oh man. Oh, and they have conventions everywhere. Yep. Oh man. You don't need to be sleeping and get fur in your mouth. Oh man. You remember seeing furries at an anime convention that your uncle made you go to. Oh, Saf, that's funny. That is funny. Oh boy. All right. No, I'm not furry curious. I was more curious about Saffron's friend that wanted to draw furries for a living. Like, is this someone that sits in the concourse, like at these conventions when people all flood out of these giant rooms? What do they do in those rooms, by the way? I'm just kind of curious about the culture of these folks and what they're actually doing at these conventions, and what does a person drawing furries actually do? You know what I mean? Like, do people come and sit in a chair? And like they sit there and get drawn, you know, like you would at the mall or something. Dude, Eric, that's exactly why furries came up in conversation here at the house the other day. My Little Ponies. My kiddo discovered My Little Ponies this week, and everything is My Little Ponies right now. It's absolutely nuts. But it led to the conversation of furries somehow. Oh no! I am furry curious. Oh no, I've been backed into a corner. Now I don't know what to do with myself. What's he gonna do? The thinking sound. What is he gonna choose? This is like total ABC after school special. You've been peer pressured. What are you gonna do? Let's turn off that ARP here. All right, I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna click on this link, and I'm not exactly sure what's gonna happen. I don't think I've updated my OS in a bit. There's play active exploits. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Rick just sent this over. Mic's not working. Maybe he's running Streamlabs. Dope. What?
I really want you to be honest with me. Do you want me here next year? That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Oh my. Oh, 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 oh. Oh man. Oh.
If I could return the favor and you guys come to Check 1 2. I would love it if I could return
Check
the
1
favor
2.
to y'all. Yeah, that's right. I'm saying y'all. And if y'all could come down to BronyCon, Canada's premier My Little Pony convention, have some. Check 1 2.
Check 1 2. Oh my god. We might have to come back to this again a few times today. That is amazing. Thank you, Rick. Holy cow. Oh, I'm going to take that in doses. That was amazing. Oh, man. Wow. Mic check 1 2. Oh. Wow. Imagine 8. The man is in the room. Welcome back, homie. Oh, bronies. I know, just watching videos of people having fun in clubs and warehouses and stuff right now is almost kind of brutally pulling at the heartstrings right now. Oh man, it's super cringy but very funny. We'll have to go back. Oh man. Oh, all right. I am going to click on another link. Oh man, that was amazing. That was amazing. Wow. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm going to just pull up some PJ here for you. So my man does a whole bunch of different kind of stuff. This one is not off the new EP. It's just a free DL if you're into it. I'm going to hit play on this. We're going to listen through it, and I'm going to make a couple more notes on this idea that's running through my head. And we'll see if we can get PJ into the mix. We'll call him up. We'll get his face on the screen with us here. Saffron Works. This is PJ. Dr. Sound, welcome. We're gearing up for an artist interview here. If you want to stick around for a while, we'll be doing feedback later. Subs get priority. Drops link in chat. There's a clever art. How long you spent on that stereo imaging, honey? Nice little attack shift on that. Trickery. Yeah, Danny, the whole crew's here. All right. Grab the free DL. Links on the SoundCloud here. So we're going to get this guy on. I'm going to pull him up on the screen here. Okay, seriously, like what the heck is going on with my Well, you know, every once in a while Streamlabs runs perfectly, but I kind of get the sense that there's usually something that's kind of a little bit off with it each day. Out, out, out. Multi-out. Thank you. Word. All right. So we'll do the check 1 2 1 2. Make sure that Streamlabs doesn't kill the mic when Zoom starts doing its thing. Oh man, I am still thinking about I'm still thinking about that video. The stage presence was amazing. Rick, that was the best thing anyone has sent in during a stream in a little while. That was amazing. Hey, there you are. I can see your face. You see me?
I can see you, man.
All right, I can hear you. Let's just see. Let's do a little test 1 2 1 2. See if I can hear you in the chat.
What's up?
There you are. It's good to see your face, homie. You let me know when you're all dialed
Good to
in.
see you too, man.
I'll move you over to the big screen.
I'm all dialed in. I accidentally had the double feeding of the audio from Twitch and from the Zoom, so it kind of threw me through a loop there.
No worries. I'm just going to stop my video so I don't have double face action on my screen. I'll move you over. Welcome to the mix. Everybody say hello to PJ. So you just dropped new music. It's been like, what, a week?
Yeah, we could. Well, I dropped it Halloween day, so we could go tomorrow.
All right,
think,
so it's
yeah,
super fresh.
Super fresh.
And I am going to kick things off with some music, and then we're just going to chill. We're just going to chill. So starting from the top. We do have a video for In Too Deep, so. All right, so this is the first track.
First track was Fuck. Actually.
Yes, Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I freaking love this. Oh, snap. Sorry. Andy, stick around. We'll get to feedback later. We're getting set up with an artist interview here. Oh, man. Paul, welcome. It's just so grimy. Oh.
Thanks, Chris.
Dude, seriously? You're getting up to some stuff right now, man. And I want to know a whole bunch of stuff. But first, how the hell are you? I haven't seen your face in a while.
I'm freaking doing great, man.
Are you?
I kind of just been using this time during quarantine to not focus on the lack of shows, but I got into music because I wanted to make music. And there's never been a time in my life, especially when I was unemployed for that like little bit, except for when I was at school learning to make music, to just make music. So
right.
it was it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, if you want to say it. You know, I wasn't making a lot of money beforehand, so not making a lot of money during quarantine isn't a big deal.
Right, right.
It's kind of the artist. It's kind of the artist role, I guess, is to do the starving artist for a little bit. So it's perfect time for it.
Yeah, man. Without struggle, it can be kind of hard to stay motivated in the beginning. So, speaking of motivation, what are you finding inspiration in during the lockdown period here?
Oh man. Well, I mean, you know my music for a while now. I like the dark theme. So quarantine's perfect for that dark theme. Just kind of as an empath, I kind of feed off energy, and I mean I don't think I've experienced any darker time with elections and then all this shit happening. So I just used it and just tried to just hone it as much as I can.
Nice, man. It's a good way to flip it. So I know that you've been creeping further and further down the rabbit hole of the modular world, and it's good to check in with friends every once in a while and make sure they've not gone too far. How are you doing with all that?
I'm proud to say that I haven't gotten lost. I just quite enjoy the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I got a book called Patch and Tweak to like just really understand like what modular synthesis was. So all my modular really has been done through Reaktor. I don't have any modular gear because it's very expensive, and I want to know what I'm buying, because I made the mistake when I first got into music to just buy things that you thought you needed. And modular is kind of a dangerous game to be doing that. So with Reaktor blocks, it's allowed it to where you can use anybody else's modular build, or you can build your own and really just get a grasp on it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Is it just blocks that you're grinding on right now?
I have Reaktor blocks. I did treat myself. I got Reaktor blocks, what is it, Euro React, and I have the toy box modular.
Toy box, yeah, some solid stuff right there.
Yeah, I don't know any. Honestly, I'd probably have more if I knew of more like good reputable. I haven't found too much on the Reaktor blocks community that's like for the front patching yet. That's like caught my eye too much. So I don't really need a bunch.
Yeah, you just make your own Frankenstein, right? Yeah, I know when the front end patching update showed up a while back, there was definitely a kind of a bloom of people selling their builds on their sites instead of just dishing stuff out in the community. So
yeah,
I've noticed that shift,
which I respect. I respect. It's everyone's got to make their own dollar.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're getting to a point in the music making society on the global level where it's a bit more understood and almost appreciated. It's really nice to see, actually. So oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, how I look at it is those dudes probably spend more time learning how to make that software than I really had to learn to use it. And I have the potential to make a decent amount of money off of using something. So why do I always have to get it for free?
Yeah.
It's like an investment in myself more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever noticed when you start paying for stuff, you start making more?
Oh, Ableton's when I figured that out.
Yeah.
Ableton was like a pretty hefty jump.
Right. Yeah. That's a big investment. It's a big investment. So when we first connected, you were a student. So I've always known your music through kind of that lens. But one thing that I picked up on early is your interest in sound design. And I feel from the outside peeking in, I don't know if this is actually true, but from the outside peeking in, it almost seems like your passion for sound design drives your musical creativity in a lot of ways. And I just kind of want to get a sense of what is it about sound design? What sparked your interest at that deep level? And are you really chasing it that much, or does it just sound like it in your music?
So sound design is 100% uh, the inspiration for my music.
Hmm.
I'm not like huge into, no matter how cool a preset is, um, I just have never really been a huge like get a preset. Oh, that's perfect for the track type of guy. Um, I don't know why I like working harder sometimes, but I just feel like the fruits of my labor are like it's more unique, and then I just feel like even if it's a shitty snare, I'm like I made that, and I'm learning how to make it better, and
Uh-huh.
just taking what is in my head and like translating it. Um, I just saw Paul Ortola say drugs. That was actually a huge reason for sound design for me. I was at a festival in off the Feathertail River called Emissions,
Mm.
and it's a massive bass music festival. And I'd eaten some acid, and I saw like these sounds coming out of the speakers, and it was like 10 days after I started doing music again,
Mm.
like electronic music. I would only done guitar and like drums and stuff before. So once I saw the sounds coming out of the speakers and the shapes, I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. I want to like make these sounds. And then I met these like really big artists from the underground scene, Bleep Bloop and Yeti. And I
Yeah.
like just like confidently was like, hey, I'm gonna, I can't wait to play on a lineup with you guys one day. And they're like, keep that motivation. And was said it, I still believe it to this day. I was like, I will, and I'm gonna remind you about this conversation when it happens.
And they might remember that conversation.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been the only thing that I've ever been able to like kind of get my vision of something and have it sound like what I want. Not to your level where we walk into class and you have us choose a sound and a synth that you wanted us to make it on. But it's getting more and more to the point where, hey, like this, timbre is giving me this idea for a sound, and I'm able to translate it the way I want it to.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I love that you can get just a little taste of a sound, and all of a sudden your mind is racing with ideas and inspiration. I love it, right? I mean, there are so many people that I've known in my lifetime that they really need some kind of occurrence, right? Some kind of thing to happen in their life that they can kind of unpack through music, right? And for me, I've always been this, so sonically oriented. Of course, if there's like a story to tell it, but more often than not, it's a funky sound. It's something with a little in it, and it just gets my blood going.
Yep.
And yeah, kindred spirits, I guess. So when you found this guy popping off in a classroom about how sounds are just shapes flying through the air, you could relate.
Yeah, like 100%. I was like, yes, I've seen the shapes. He's like, oh, that's what it's called? Tight.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you're saying you don't know why. Sometimes you choose the harder route, but you like hearing your own work and you like the feels of it all. I think I know why. You want to dive into your family history at all and talk about some musical roots in your family?
So yeah, my grandfather was a Bay Area club promoter, inducted into the Bay Area Blues Hall of Fame with Merle Saunders is the keyboardist with Jerry Garcia for many years, and it was the Keystone in San Francisco, Berkeley, and Palo Alto, and just he built this legacy that, I mean, there's groups on Facebook that people are posting concert billings that they're like, I was here, and like, you're his grandson, and oh my, I worked at the Shoreline Amphitheater when I was going to Pyramid, and some of the stagehands I was working with were just blown away that they were working with a Herrera, you know, like Fred Herrera's grandson, and
Right.
just told me to thank him for all the memories. And I was just like, damn, like I knew my grandpa was cool. I knew my grandpa built something cool, but like the fuck?
You're right.
And that was in the middle of all this. And I'm like, man, I would just be so cool to like, you know, he's been gone a year and a half, to just people still talk about him.
Oh yeah.
For the good stuff that he did, and you know, the memories. And he put on weekly food drives for the homeless, or would feed the homeless every week in his club. And it's just like stuff like that is like, you know, like I could go the easy route. A lot of people in my family have, but there's a few that have gone the hard route, and they've gotten really good success.
Man, I appreciate that on such a deep level. And thanks for sharing. I'm a big fan. I'm an old school Deadhead, and I would go and I would watch the Jerry Garcia band and Merle Saunders and stuff down there, and I miss it. I mean, that was the first true music family that I think I had as a youngin', because like I grew up in rural Oregon. It's not like there was a lot of people into the same things that I was into, right? And like seeking the same kind of scene, and getting down there and being around all those people and just sucking up those vibes. It was just like the most real thing I had ever been in contact with. And yeah, man, it shaped me too. And I bet a lot of that creeped in. Like, you didn't know how cool he was until later, right? Yeah. I'm sure on some level some stuff creeped in when you were little, though, you know?
Well, it'd be like, man, my grandpa always smoked weed. Always tried to be like secretive about it. But it's like, who's like 70-year-old grandpa smoking weed? Like, all the cool kids at school smoke weed, not your grandpa. Right. It was just like little things like that. And it was just like, I don't get it, man.
Right. Where did this guy come from? Why is he so cool? Yeah. And just a beast. That's awesome. I'm going to scroll up in the chat here just for a second and see what I've been missing. Sorry, I'm kind of ignoring you guys today. Y'all are freaking champions over here.
I catch up also to make
right. Yeah. Hey, Andy. Yeah, you can get feedback after the interview. We're doing a quick artist interview here. We're going to be playing around with sound, and we'll do feedback later. You stick around. Subscribers, you always get priority. Drop links in chat if you want feedback later. Man, still talking about the bronies. The 1-2 mic check. 1-2 1-2. Oh my God, dude. We're gonna have to go back.
Ridiculous, man.
We're gonna have to go back.
That video was amazing.
Holy crap, dude. Thank you, interwebs. Oh my goodness. Oh, Ricky says, hi. Can't detect speaker. You talking to me, Zoom? What's going on here? You still with me, Zoom? You guys hear me? Check, 1-2. Yeah, okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, it looks like people were really liking your first track.
I love that track.
Dude, it's so good. So
that's one of my favorite songs I've ever written.
So before we get back into the next track, I want to ask you, what's the story behind the vocal chops here in Fuck?
So you're gonna love this. You remember Cameron Bakhtiar?
Absolutely. Love that dude.
Okay, so that's my boy. I love Cameron. I love Cameron so much.
Me too.
He's one of my best friends, and we will talk on the phone, you know, just talking shit, just like the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, I'm trying to come up with a theme for a sample pack, and I don't think he knew I had my field recorder out recording while we're on speakerphone. And I was like, I just need you to talk shit to me. Come on, just talk shit. And then he's just going. And so the vocals from Fuck and the vocals in It Too Deep are from our phone conversation. And in Fuck, when it goes to the that's Cameron laughing in our phone conversation. Awesome. And I chopped it up. So yeah, I just Danny, I know Danny's watching, or I saw him in the chats earlier.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah.
He's a huge I picked his brain so much on how to take my sound design, and same with you. I've asked you how to take it to the next level, and it's all about creating a theme. So Danny is a huge reason why I got my ass together to like really just like come up with a theme for a sample pack. And really what ended up happening was I wrote an EP. So thank you, Danny.
Word.
But now I have a bunch of sounds all packaged up, and without my friends just like they're talking on the phone with me so I can get some vocals, or they're giving me advice. That's really what it was, man. Was
That's
those
tight.
two.
That's tight. Yeah, I miss Cam. I saw him creeping around here the other day. I saw that he actually subbed between streams. So I think we're probably missing him schedule wise to get him actually in the chat. But sooner or later, we'll get that guy in here.
Oh yeah, we will. He's gotten so much better at I've seen him grow so much as an artist. It's cool. Just watching all my friends I went to school with just flourish. It's badass.
Isn't that awesome? It was a good crew. It was a good crew in there. I mean, there were a few cycles in a row where it was just like, man, just a truckload of good humans with mad skills and deep, deep passion. Yeah, some really good stuff. What's going on over here? What's going on? Hey, Andromeda must be in the room because Ricky just tossed a sub your way. Welcome back, Andromeda. And thank you, Ricky. You guys are so kind today. There have been so many sub gifts flying around in here. I still think that I need to dedicate like the first 10 minutes of every stream to all these people that follow and sub between streams. You guys are great. So I want to listen to the next track. You want to listen to the next track?
I'm down, man.
Which one is it? Is it In Too Deep? I forgot the order. I was going to pull these off the SoundCloud, but
it's gonna be Day 2 is the second track.
Okay, cool. I didn't want the compression, so all right, here we go. Oh. Cooking with some fire. All these little chops. So tasty. All right. So, you know me, Mr. Less is More. And I'm always telling you, I really appreciate your focus on balance, right? Positive and negative space, giving your stuff room to breathe. What is it about a sound when you hear it that you say, this one deserves to float around in some space without anything else getting in the way?
I guess really depends for me is like how I'm dancing to it.
Okay.
I damn near have like an anxiety attack 20 times when I'm producing a song. And a lot of it is trying to figure out what it is that's causing that, like, it's not right. And I'll overproduce way too many sounds, like hi-hats way too busy. And then I'll be like, yep, this is it. And I'll listen to it. And then that anxiety kicks. I'm like, no. So then I'll start going through and meticulously chopping out what I don't want. And then I will, that's make sure when it's that spot that I want, I have all the reverbs printed and the tails cut so that the reverbs suck out. And then that one sound is there. And it's like, that's usually that ebb and flow that I have in my dance. That's what's happening. I'm trying to translate it.
Yeah, I love that push pull, that give take, and that it just forces you to focus. It just, you can't, there is no option. It just, you take the idea of, you know, transforming a passive listener into an engaged participant, and you just kind of run with it. I really appreciate that. The question of gear setup just popped up in the chat from Paul. He's a gearhead. He wants to know, what are you using over there? What are your toys, your go-to weapons?
I am 100% in the box producer at the moment.
Boom.
I had 2 cents. I had a Korg MS-20 Mini. That's kind of how I got into modular, was the idea of patching, because I had no idea how to make a cool sound out of that thing. And then the Arturia Matrix Brute. Shout out Ricky, Chance in Your Pants. I swear to God, that dude was like the coolest classmate ever, held a contest. And that's another beast, semi-modular. It's fucking one of the nicest humans ever.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But unless I had like a patch bay in the studios, just the struggle of trying to get things set up in a moment of inspiration just killed it. So at the moment, I mainly just use Faceplant. That's like my go-to synth right now.
You're feeling
when I want to have fun and create. I love it so much. I just like the modular routing within the actual sound engine, not so much the plugins or the clip-ins or whatever they call them. Snap-ins.
Yeah.
I'm more about the sound engine in that. If anyone wants a recommendation, I say just buy the sound engine and process in your DAW.
Yeah.
Because that's what I usually do. Either that or reactor blocks. Those are like my go-to sound sources, and then I use a lot of stock Ableton. Yeah.
Is there a piece of kit that you're just lusting after right now? And it's totally fine if it's hardware or software, but is there just one thing that, and it doesn't even have to be new, but something that you're looking at like, oh man, I just drool.
Yeah, I'm drooling over building my own modular. I built an actual modular system in Reaktor. That's what I use to make every sound that I made. So I want to do that, but in hardware. So I can't tell you the actual mods that I want.
Sure.
But I want to have, even if it's just like a little, $1,500 small like starter setup. I feel like I could do a lot of cool, unique damage with that.
Right. We should do a little class reunion one of these nights. Just have like an open
That'd be sick.
An open stream, have everybody meet up on Zoom, and then just put it up here for everybody to tune into. That'd be fun.
I would be. I want to go down and have a mini Pyramid class reunion with anyone who's living in the SoCal. I know there's a few of them, but I gotta say what's up to Cam and Danny, and I know Frank Zago's down there. And
yeah, Nate's down there.
I think there's a few more. Nate's down there. Freaking Miguel and Evan.
Yeah, dude. How are they?
Like,
God, I miss them. I haven't talked to them in at least a few months. Yeah. I feel like I
talked to Miguel when my music video came out.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I miss those guys. There's some serious talent. Some serious talent in that circle. All these people you're naming here.
Oh, yeah.
Nate, yeah, you really do need to start using digital reactor modulars. Absolutely. You playing inside of Massive X at all? Or just blocks?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, Massive X, I just haven't. When the last time I got Native Complete was when you, like, your last semester at Pyramid.
Uh-huh.
And I haven't found, like, even with Massive X release, I haven't found and there's nothing intriguing enough for me to upgrade. So I have
Yeah.
I haven't even seen it in person.
Right.
I
think I think I'm going to pull the trigger on the sale when it comes through this time. I did not last time. I was kind of in the same boat. I wasn't willing to upgrade all of my gear for it because I felt that the first rev at the time, I didn't feel that the first rev of it felt complete enough for me to have. I didn't have the same knee-jerk reaction that I did with the first Massive. The first Massive at the time was like, wait,
kind of
so we've got,
I'm sure.
Yeah, we've got these 8 modulators that are just freely assignable, and we've got 8 macros. Like, this is pretty groundbreaking stuff. I mean, it's been eons since then. What's it been, like almost a dozen years now or something? But but after the first update, I was like, yeah. But I didn't upgrade gear until just recently. Just what is this now? November? Just a couple months ago. So I took my freaking time. I hate compatibility issues. So I waited and I grabbed the last of the iMacs before it went full Apple Silicon. So I'm probably going to circle back and get the complete upgrade this time. And then I'll probably just go nuts. And you guys will probably be sick and tired of Massive X patches after a while. But the sound that's coming out of it now with the new modular backbone is just super future.
Just so happy with all the soft modular coming out.
Yeah.
Like, even the semi-modular part of it is just like,
oh man.
Fucking the sound you get from audio rate modulation is going into more than just another oscillator is just like so fucking cool.
Yes. Absolutely. 100%. In fact, I just got I'm back on the review wagon, and I just got word. Let me log back in here. I just got word that they're sending over. Oh, where is it? The new CA 2600. Just gonna pull this up. Where's my tab here? I don't know if you've seen this yet. But basically, it's not just a recreation of the ARP 2600. It's got some more stuff going on. But you may remember the ARP that was sitting in the studio behind my office at Pyramid up in the loft area.
The Buchla or whatever the fuck that. That was.
Yeah, This is in that same kind of. Oh well, I guess it was the other synth, not the, because there was like the little. I don't know if it was a Buchla, but there was that one that just didn't. It never worked, but.
Somebody finally got it working the last month I was there.
Oh, nice. Oh man, I would have loved to have heard that thing.
Yeah.
But we'll roll through and we'll do this one probably next week. I'm pretty stoked for it. I've been a massive fan of semi-modular since the whole movement started, and I still cannot get off of the Absinthe bandwagon. I still use it almost every single day.
It to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's so confusing to me still that synth is just like a beast.
Let's tune into more streams, homie.
Oh, I know.
Get you straight.
I know. Because when you were teaching me Absinthe, I once a year I'll have like a status pop up that's like, everyone's talking about Massive and Serum, but where the fuck's all this talk about Absinthe? And now I know nothing about Absinthe. I'm just so disappointed in myself.
Oh, that's okay, man. We do that to ourselves all the time. I remember when Zebra came out and I was like, oh, it's amazing. I'm never going to use anything else. And then Zebra 2 came out and I'm like, oh, this is incredible. And a couple months later, I'm like, I don't think I've opened Zebra for a couple of months.
Dude, and then it's just like, fuck.
And then it's just kind of in the distance. And I mean, I love me some Yuhi. I think everything Urs has ever put his hands on has been brilliant. But yeah. Ricky is asking, what are some of your favorite soft modules? I'm assuming referring to blocks.
As far as names of them, I'm not sure, but I'll tell you my favorite ones are like the utility where it's like math, divider, all that type of stuff. Because that's when you start getting really weird polyrhythm types. Just based off of the different trigger inputs you have for that. And that's where I've gotten really creative, is I just try to overload that and then just route different ones to as many things as I can until it sounds cool.
So no specific favorites other than the kind of essentials, really.
Yeah, like I said, I'm really just trying to, I'm still very, very not good at modular. So I get very excited with the most basic sound. I'm just trying to understand what it is I'm doing, really.
Yeah.
When it comes to modular. Because
I'm
not even close to performance level. I'm like resampling like 10 to 30 minutes open recording session.
Right.
And if I sent you the file of what this EP was written on, like it's like the most basic saw wave, just like dong dong, and I'm like, yes, we got a signal, like yes.
Yeah.
And then like, let's twist this knob, and it's like, oh, and it's kind of like hybrid modular too, because then I'll throw an effect on an Ableton,
right,
and be modulating that too, and getting
right.
And then it's just like, to me that's so much fun, because I feel like such an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing.
You know why,
but
man?
I know how to isolate. Why?
You know why this works for you so well? It's because you're a freaking sound designer. That's why it works so well for you. You're like, woohoo, we got a signal. That's an awesome sounding sawtooth. It sounds really gritty and nice. I'm going to make this sound great.
Yes. 100%.
When
like it takes because music, when I first...
Oh, go ahead. What
were you saying? When I first started making music, even just making a patch was so new. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't think about it. And now, knowing as much as I do about music and actual synthesis and stuff, sometimes making a pattern doesn't come out the way I want.
Right.
So taking a whole technical aspect and just the childlike feeling of just coloring outside of the lines because you don't know how to color inside of them.
Yeah.
Is like, that's the freeing part for me.
Yeah, the thrill of the hunt and like the wonder of discovery, and when you do color outside of the lines, like the rewards that you get are tenfold that of staying in the lines, right? Because you're actually discovering things and you start connecting the dots, and it's just priceless.
Yeah. Well, those happy accidents, that's the only way I get happy accidents. because it's never from a patch when I'm like, oh, I want to make this super dope Reese.
Yeah,
and I
right.
go and I make a Reese base. There's not a happy accident with a Reese base.
There's a little work involved. Oh man, yeah. And in Dremia, when you're a sound designer, any sound is the best sound ever. That's awesome.
Oh, it's so true.
Yeah, it's
So
awesome.
true.
You know, going back to the thread that we were starting after listening to day 2, and asking you about, you know, how you know when a sound deserves the space and the spotlight, and you kind of went on about building up layers and then carving them away, right? Throw too much at the canvas and then start stripping it down. And just reminds me, it's very much my process too, right? I'm an oil painter with sound, basically. And I don't know how to paint with oil. Like, I'm not a painter. I'll never be a painter, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I like the process. I think that's why people have made the Bob Ross jokes for so many years with me, is I really, really like.
Dude, you are Bob Ross of sound.
I know. Mod Ross. People have been asking me for almost 10 years now, like, can we please get a Mod Ross channel? And I keep saying, oh, I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
That'd be so amazing.
It'd be awesome, right? Just get some flannel and and a giant wig and
perm your hair. And just perm it. Go full character.
Yeah, I got plenty of it. I just got to do something with it, right? Just oh, what's this? Is that a bird chirp I hear? Let's just replace that with the sound of some roots growing in the earth.
Just be a weekly special. How about that?
Just once a week.
Once a week, we have Mod Ross out.
Okay, you know, that's kind of a nice happy compromise. I don't know why I haven't thought of just a compromise with people, but people.
Hey, it's cool. That's why you have artist interviews. Sometimes we just share ideas and
right.
Take what you want.
Right. I actually like that idea. Once a week, maybe we'll do that. We're going to have to fall into a rotation here soon.
I bet you that's going to be your most popular week when you do it.
It probably will be, dude.
I swear to God, man. Like, it's going to be crazy. I see someone say, just happy little sound over here. Oh my God. Yes.
That's all it is. That's all the people have been wanting for so long. All of the OhmLab memes and stuff over the years. All the, you know, don't be a savage and pitches love vibrato, and it always comes back to freaking Bob Ross, man. Well, I used to talk about back I don't know how many people are here that were like with me a decade ago or whatever, but just here, let me toss that up for you. There you go. Just the constant talking about how I grew up on Bob Ross. Like, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and we had a couple of TV stations, right? And one of them was OPB, and so I could watch Bob Ross, and I could watch old reruns of Perry Mason on Channel 12 or whatever. But Bob Ross was my jam for a long time, and it must have crept in.
It's fate, dude.
It must have crept in on a pretty fundamental level. Oh, I love it. People are going nuts. Give us the happy little sounds.
I know.
And an 80s haircut.
I'm going to be honest, though. I never made the Bob Ross connection until you burst the bubble, and now I can't unsee it.
Oh, snap. It's my own doing.
Yeah, we do it to ourselves.
The third track in this EP actually has a video. Should we watch the video?
I would love that, man.
I would like it. We're going to watch this video.
Oh, real quick before we do the video. For day 2, I got to give shouts out to my boy Rye Vibes out of the UK. I met him the weekend before everything down, and it was at a show that he was performing at, and that was the first collab that I was able to get published, and it was with somebody in the UK during quarantine.
Dude,
so don't let anybody stop you from your dreams.
Seriously, don't sleep on the bounce button. Like, this comes up all the time. This comes up all the time. Like in almost every stream that I tune into that isn't mine, and like every tutorial, every student, everybody is always like, well, how do you get to be prolific, or how do you get this stuff done, or how did you get this opportunity, or where do I have to go to? It's like, hit bounce. Bounce. You got to get over it. Just freaking hit bounce. Produce something, hit bounce. Open up a new project. Just produce, bounce, repeat. Produce, bounce, repeat. And you're never going to get a collaboration opportunity with anyone, pandemic or not, if you don't show up. So
agreed. Or at least ask them something.
yeah.
People are so afraid of no before they even hear it that it stops them from hearing yes.
Okay, real talk.
No sucks, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, whatever.
But
I mean, of course it does, but
yes
it can
is
also be
worth it.
highly
Yes is
motivating.
worth it.
Yeah, yes is
Oh,
worth it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes is worth every no I've ever gotten.
Yeah, real talk, just for a second. Your mission should never be to turn a no into a yes, but you should fight through the no's to get a yes, right? If you have that approach, I'm a firm believer in a lot of those earlier no's becoming yeses on their own. And then you don't have to be a dick.
Mhm.
You don't have to be one of these people that believes that that you got to have this kind of like ego or swagger or chart topping hits or something. There is fundamentally a huge disconnect between people that see stardom and seeing people as people. I'm not putting this out there very clearly. When people achieve some level of fame, whether it's being up on someone's personal pedestal as like a musical hero or being in the top 100 or whatever, people tend to look at them and say, oh, there's this figure, not this person, right? Or, oh, there's this huge accomplishment, not this person. And it's really upsetting. Like, I love anonymity. I've had lots of projects over the years where I don't claim any of it. I've recorded albums and stuff and not kept copies for myself and all sorts of weird stuff. And I think that part of it's probably like an unhealthy hang up of some sort. But also, I don't like when I talk with people and like the conversation is all about like accomplishments and like experiences and stuff. It's really upsetting for some reason.
Well, it's almost like a dick measuring contest. Excuse my political incorrectness, but I agree with you.
Yeah, and it's so stupid that like, oh, okay, so I did something that was popular for a minute and now I'm a thing instead of a person or something in your mind. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just upsetting. And you know, not knowing who's a friend and that kind of stuff is always an unsettling feeling, right? So just treat people like they're people. Like if you want to collaborate with someone, collaborate with them. Ask them. Just say, hey, I want to throw you some samples.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens. If more people did that, dude, we would have a very different musical world in front of us right now. And I think we're getting there.
I've also found supporting the community too. When I became way more active in just sharing my, like, not trying to get anything out of it, but just, hey, this is a producer friend of mine. This is some track that they finished. Give it a listen. You know, people see that you actually are part of that community. You're not just there for yourself. You're not just there to gain notoriety, to build your brand. You're there because that is who you are. The community response has responded hugely to that. I can't express that enough. Like, you really got to give back to your community if you want anything from it.
Hallelujah. You got to plug into play. That's really what it is. You can't just show up and expect. That's a level of entitlement that's not tolerated. Absolutely. Welcome back, Purple Pros. Mix with Mike is so tempted to ask Chris to collab. I'm a little busy right now, but hit me up. Paul says his sound packs are my collab. Release. The back of your storage drive won't get you anywhere. Yeah, you know, there are so many people that I've helped get started over the years that it's taken a lot of pushing. And it always comes down to this one common thread. Well, not always, but like over 90% of the time. It comes down to this challenge. I want you to find 30 files on your hard drive that you haven't even opened for over a year and tell me what kind of value they're providing for you. Like, either you have a dream or you don't. You know, I feel like it pretty much gets to be that simple. And when people hear that, it's like, oh, snap. Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff on my hard drive. And as soon as they put it up, they start to realize that if it sounds good to you and you spend a bunch of time on it, it must have had some kind of value for you. And I guarantee you there's a bunch of other people in the world that are going to vibe with it. You just have to put it out there and let them find it.
Some of my most well-received tracks have been ones that I was like not the most stoked on, but I was like, I am done. Like, I'm not going to go anywhere productive if I keep working on this. Like, this song is finished.
Yeah.
I put it out, and then people are like, oh my God, that was fucking awesome. And it's just like, cool. That, you know, my intuition is there. I got to start trusting myself a little bit more. Yeah. Stop being so in your head about it.
It takes time to get past all the imposter syndrome and stuff, man. It's a societal thing.
And I think I've heard even bigger artists, like they always, I think it's an ebb and flow of that feeling, imposter syndrome.
Word. By the way, welcome back to the Mix with Mike. Evening to you as well. I agree. Collab is so amazing because you learn so much from each other. Same with teaching. So educational. Absolutely. I would like to, the imposters in the room. Like, damn, Among Us in real life. It's good to see you too, Mike. Let's jump into this video, because this is pretty great. And you've got a little story behind this. Birthday? Is that what this was?
Yeah, this was my birthday. I was going to do a live stream mix from the condo I was living at in San Francisco, have the background, but then Twitch started kind of snapping down on the DJ streams. And I didn't want to, like, I wanted to have a good birthday present that wasn't any like potential BS. So I talked with Jeff Straw, and we came up with an idea to make a music video.
That's dope.
On my birthday. So this was the day I turned 31.
Word. Shout out to Jeff. He's the man.
Love you, Jeff.
Gelato Beats. Thank you for the follow. Oh, sorry. My bad. Thank you for the host.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hop into this. Oh, love this tune. Yeah. Choice. Loving the rainbow locks
Thanks,
there, by the
man.
way. There's a few
Dude,
things
thank
that I
you.
really like about that video, man. The like little electric color shocks that are going through the different things are just freaking awesome. At the moment when the drone lifts up out of that lot and you get to see the city
Yes.
behind it.
hmm
Little epic moments.
That was my favorite shot of the whole video was that rise up.
It's
Definitely.
total
That thing was
Hollywood.
tight.
Yeah. Seriously, man.
That freaking that highlight thing, Jeff bought that plugin. Like I've been seeing it on some videos, like dancing videos that people will do to like electronic songs.
Uh-huh.
When he mentioned it, I was like, dude, thank you so much for doing that for me.
Yeah, it's fire. It's awesome. Oh, it's so good. Paul, man, yeah, total Dada is just so good. You've got so much like it's hard for me to it's hard for me to put your stuff into a category because I feel like it kind of wrecks it. But you've got so many awesome elements in the groove in every single one of your tracks. And I love the continuity, by the way. I heard some samples lurking in there from the conversation with Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the continuity, man. I love the continuity. I like the little Easter eggs that you take the time to incorporate into your work.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So, we already talked about modular family history, sound design, staying inspired in the pandemic. What we have not talked about are your influences and aspirations right now.
Okay. That's a great question, man. I have a wide range of influences. I started with guitar and drums, so I'm all about melodies. A lot of the stuff I'm listening to when I'm not listening to electronic music, surprisingly, is like country. Like that super basic ass pop country. It just passes time, but like I mean, you can't deny the catchiness of melodies.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, I like a lot of stuff with melody. As far as producer wise, some of my bigger influences would be I love G Jones just because of his abstractness.
Yeah.
But he still finds a way to make it really beautiful.
Yeah.
G Jones definitely. Zeke Beats is for that big old fat dirty bass. I love Zeke Beats. He's actually out in Oregon as well, I think.
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Charles the First on a local level from the Reno Tahoe area. I mean, he's
I'm
bigger, way bigger than just our area. But his when you talk about space in my music, he is definitely the man where I like listen to him and like I want to like focus a lot more of my like space like his and the groove. He's just really, 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 really good. And another local producer is Sub Doctor. He's a dubstep and just like work ethic. I've seen him go from the Blue October's sound engineer, quit that touring with them, to bet on himself and then be on the like tour bus circuit with Ganja White Knight. It's just really cool to see people that I know on my level do things that I want to do.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, as far as my aspirations, ultimate goal is to just always write music, no matter what happens. Obviously, I want to do this for a living, whether it be full-time or just supplement my income so I don't have to work so hard for a vacation.
Yeah.
I spend so many hours doing this. So I'm just trying to figure out a way to make it to where it's not hours just working on my hobby. It's like, hey, you wrote a song, you packaged up all your sounds, you have like gigabytes of sounds. So work towards packaging my stuff up for some sample packs. I'm not so much like a beat producer for just selling beats. But if someone wants to collaborate or someone hears one of my songs that's like they really want, I'm open to that, but collaboration and sound design is really my thing.
Yeah.
Just want to write my music, collaborate, and sound design. Those are what make me happy.
I really appreciate your just how genuine you are. Not like just in how you talk, man, but like with yourself. You're very genuine. You're very realistic about what you want from your creative endeavors and where your passions lie. And I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Studio One London, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I think you were with us from the beginning, so thank you. Yeah, people are loving this music, man, and the video.
Yeah, it makes me. I'm so blown away at the response to it. I put a lot of energy into it. It makes me happy, like really happy.
You made Zev homesick. He's from SF as well.
I know, dude. I heard a song say that.
Yeah, I. That's where I met him too before I left the Mind. And he's at New York now. Okay. Everybody dispersed to different places. Nate, thank you for the host. Yeah, man, people are tuning into the details with your stuff, mixed with Mike Says, nice low end and triplets in there also. Yeah, I think your attention to detail, and sticking with it until you get it right is paying off. It's paying off for you.
Sweet.
Yeah. So you've been tolerating my questions for a while now. I only really have one more.
All right.
How old were you when you started making music?
I was like 15 when I started making music on guitar. But in a DAW was 2016, like May of 2016.
Do you consider those to be like two different starting points?
Yeah, like yeah. Because there's like I've been able to write songs.
Yeah.
I mean, I can pick up an instrument, not know how to play it, figure out how to get notes, and I can write a song. That's just how I've always been.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But as far as producing music and making, yeah, that was a whole. It's like I didn't know how to write a song anymore. I had to completely stop, and just two totally different things in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. A piece of advice for people out there and getting stuff out there during the pandemic? Got any advice for them?
Know your tools. Now's the time to know your tools. Don't get frustrated about not making the biggest drop or whatever, but like, I hate hearing it when I have like a very specific question in a group and someone says, read the manual. But like, when you're just trying to figure out the basics, read the manual. Like, I was bored at work one day and I downloaded the Ableton manual and I read the description on every synth and every effect in there and exactly what it does. And it's like, when you have that, like when you talk about like adjectives describing a sound or adverbs or whatever it is, the descriptor words, the only way you can figure out where those descriptor words go is if you know what tool it is that describes those descriptor words. So yeah, fucking know your tools. Back and forth. Don't worry about what the best sound design synth is. Word. Know what a synth does.
Word. Man. Ricky says, this is an amazing episode. All the interviews you do. Had to catch Imaginates after the live stream, but all are amazing. Yeah. This is... I think people are going to enjoy watching this one a couple of times. See you later, Eric. Thanks for swinging by, and I'm glad you caught from the very beginning this time around. Same. January of 2016 in my DAW, I made stuff in Magic's Music Maker back in 2004 and on it for a bit. That's it, says Nate. That's going back a ways.
I heard about Magic's Music Maker.
Oh, man.
Damn.
I remember the first couple of DAWs that I stepped into, and I was like, this is not okay. This is just not okay. And then it's just not okay. Dude, the first version of Music Maker that ran off that flippin' DVD that would take, I don't even know how long it would take to launch. And then even if you had a really good PC, which there were no really good PCs back then, it would just crash the thing and it would just stall. And oh, it was awful. Oh, it was awful. And then I don't know how Apple hit up eMagix and rebirthed it as Logic, and everything was better in the world. Okay. I mean, Pro Tools was there, but everything was tethered to hardware for Pro Tools because they were in bed with M Audio at the time.
Pro Tools was still, Mm-hmm. I don't know how we were patient enough as a society to just not give up on computers. I probably would have.
In an alternate universe somewhere, we're all banging on rocks and tin cans and stuff, and we've got like hangers. Yeah, we've got posters of PJ hanging on all of our walls. Our analog savior. The tagline is something like, "Computers are taking a while. Let's give up."
Let's give up. Yeah, I'm glad I came in the back end of the digital era.
Oh, man. Yeah, there was no internet when I was little. There was no internet in adulthood for me either until a while later. I was so anti-digital everything until things got to a certain point. And then I was like, why would anyone waste their time lugging all these drums around? And I just started to make the switch.
Yeah.
And then I realized, holy hell, they call it a studio because it really is a studio. Yeah, that's when I was like, all right, peace out, Apple. I'm gonna show people how to do this stuff now. Oh God, it was painful for a long time. You're right. We had to be very patient. Oh man,
I appreciate you, forefront runners on that end. I really do appreciate that.
Man. Yeah, I still get messages from people periodically about, like, hey, thanks for working out so hard to get ADSR going and stuff like this. And yeah, I know it's appreciated.
Yeah, when I tell people who my sound design mentor was, and I'm like, yeah, ADSR, and they're like, yeah, I'm like, yeah. They're like, what the fuck? Yeah, man, you put in hell of work. There's so many people I know who just that's like their answer for everything. Hey, how do you do this? Oh, there's a really good tutoring website. And it's just like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
Bravo, sir.
Right? That's what the internet should be for. Seth says, didn't the 1980s have the internet or computers? Yeah. Okay. So we had Oregon Trail. I mean, I think there's a big misconception about what having computers and having internet meant back then. There was no real internet back then. There really wasn't. And there were computers, but we're talking, I don't think the Apple IIe didn't even come out until like 1990 or something, and that was a color computer. I mean, there was the Commodore 12864, the dual boot that you could get some color. It was hard. It was hard. There was nothing you could really do. All right. I'm not knocking the Oregon Trail, Ricky. I had high score on that thing, man. Dude, we had to wait so long to play that thing in the library in school, and I had high score on that thing. I'm pretty proud of that.
That was my favorite thing about third grade.
Oh, dude. Third grade, you finally get to use the computer and play Oregon Trail.
Oh, yeah, that was the shit.
Die of dysentery. You failed to cross the river.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
Spacebar. People always be like, how do you win? Be the banker. Don't die of dysentery. Oh, shit. Zork. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. You guys are making me feel old. PJ, thank you so much for hanging out and doing this interview with us.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's do it again soon.
Yeah, I'm super down.
And we don't even need to make it an interview. It can just be like a hangout or something. Maybe we can do a little Maybe we'll have a little challenge one of these days where
I'm down with that.
people send us both some samples or a couple of presets
Yeah.
or something, and then just say, go.
Yeah, I
Have
was
our little
thinking that.
faces in
I've
the
been seeing
corners.
that on. As long as I don't have to go against Bob Ross, I'm good.
Oh, snap. Okay, so let me rethink this whole thing then. All right, so I'm digging your idea about compromising and making Bob Ross like a once a week or once a month or something like that. I'll take a look at some wigs, see what I can do.
I don't know.
Dust off
I'm
some
looking
palette
forward to it.
knives.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, homie.
Have a good one, man.
Thank you. It was so wonderful seeing your lovely face. I miss you. I'm glad you're doing well. Big ups on everything you're doing. Super proud.
Appreciate it, bud.
Absolutely, dude. I'll see you on the flip side.
All right, man. Have a great day.
You too. Peace out. Well, that was fun. Everybody check out PJ. I've got some links. I'm going to drop them in the chat for you so you can go ahead and check him out. All the different ways. All right, so you can follow him on Spotify, SoundCloud, Facebook, and Instagram. His deets and links are in the chat. We are not done yet. We're still going. We're still going for at least another hour, and I'm fine with doing a little bit of feedback today. Subscribers get priority. Drop links in chat. It's going to take some time. Please be patient. No pushing, no shoving. First in line, first come, first serve, and all that. I'm going to go hit the little boys' room. I'm going to grab more coffee for sure. And I'm also going to work on some sounds too. So we'll kind of mix this up for the remainder of the stream today. Y'all are awesome. Lots of big ups coming from you guys for PJ. He's the man, isn't he? He's a great human. Sega Genesis. Yes, F. Dirty Bass Challenge. Aroma Seraphi Pablo. Welcome back and thank you for being here. I like the Dirty Bass Challenge idea. Oh, man. Yeah, I had him running through Serum the entire time, Mike. I bet you didn't even know the Serum had the ability to do video chats like this, but it's an amazing little hidden feature. It's on the global tab. It's on the global tab. Looks like nanowires might be the first through the gates. I'm glad you appreciate my sense of humor, Mike. PJ, thank you so much, dude, again, for being here with us today. I hope you can stick around and play in the chat for a while. And Ben, I see that you're first. I will click on that link as soon as I come back into this room. I'm going to put you guys on the be right back slide for a minute, and then I will be right back. It's a good time to go grab coffee. Let's make it happen. I'll be right back. See you in 3 to 5. Oh, good. You're staying. Excellent. Excellent. You guys go looking for the video chat feature on the global tab in Serum while I'm gone. Let me know if you find it. And I'm back. Took a little longer than expected. Had people standing right outside my door when I took off my headphones and walked out there. I just hugged a human. Some that isn't in my immediate family. For the first time in a very long time. Die, COVID, die. I normally don't speak ill of people and things too often, but freaking die already, COVID. Just die. I hugged a human. It just happened. And it was great. I did. Not afraid to admit it. We've built a little bubble. So our kiddo can have some kind of social interaction and a chance to learn. And Human. Swamp of Life. Excellent. Bonus points for you. Anyway. She was just leaving. She's like a year younger or so. But she was just leaving and her dad was with her, and I got a flippin' hug. It's weird the little things we get excited about these days, huh? All right, so I said as soon as I got back, I'd click on this link. See if I can find the spot in the chat where I left off. Saffron says maybe you can interview me at one point. Yeah, maybe I can. There we go. There's Ben's link. Let me grab that. It's a fun interview with PJ. All right, so this is from Ben from Nanowires. I'm going to close these. I'm just going to download it. All right, so this one is from Nanowires. My bad. Ben, are you here right now? I probably shouldn't have started that without even asking. It says you're here, but you might be lurking. I'll give you just a sec. Bunch of people here. Man, the count is always so off on streams. I rarely click on the little users in chat button, but when I do, I'm always like, man, there's so many more people here than it's actually showing. Maybe because people are watching on different platforms. I'm still not sure how the tally actually is accrued, because when I go and I look at the analytics afterwards and I see all these people like tuning in from my website or .tv or Twitch or whatever, I don't think it tracks it all very well in real time. Just sound design feedback, please, says Ben. Human. Swamp of Life. You really like the serum skin, huh? Well, if you are a user of serum and you want to use this very skin, click on serum, hover on skin, click Promethium. Then set current skin as default. Your serum will look just like this. Subvids. I missed nearly all the interview. How'd it go? It went very well. Definitely circle back and watch the video. It'll be worth it. PJ's a fantastic human. He's just wonderful people. I love him. So, you made a custom one. It's white on black. It's amazing. Yeah, it is stock as of a couple of updates ago. Swamp of Life. It's the only one besides the default serum that's official. You can find tons and tons. Mix with Mike, if you want to toss a link up to that skin, or if you're wanting to share it, we could always help you get it out to more people. Or if you just want me to rock it for a while and pimp your stream for a bit, I will do that too. Ben's here. Let's listen to his stuff. And this is just sound design feedback called Zoolander on this one. All right, so seems like that might be it here. Make sure it doesn't come back. Okay. All right, so hope you don't mind listening through that twice. I got a couple things for you here. On the main bass, in the mid-range, so we're talking just a multi-band process here, but putting a subtle bandpass, so this would be a parallel process for you. just a very subtle bandpass that moves just a little bit would be an interesting thing, because it feels just a little bit static for all of the space and all of the other movement. The center of this instrument seems just a little bit almost too solid or too grounded, and potentially it'd be a very cool thing for the vibe and flow of this to put a subtle LFO shift, long form modulation, like maybe a 4-bar or something like that, on the actual attack time of your amp envelope for that instrument. So it's like super sharp on some, and then it kind of almost begins to push, and then it snaps back in it. Yeah. So maybe not a sine, but maybe a saw. Dude, those 3 little butter notes from the bass at the end before the weird white noise vocal reverb thing wraps up this whole thing, those 3 little dun 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 are freaking choice. I would almost add just the slightest amount of either bit crush or overdrive, very clean, not for the grit, just for the gloss. Maybe target like 7K or so. Maybe just a touch less range on the reverb EQ. Don't be a savage. No, I know you're EQing it, but it is just a little bit much up top, I think. I think it'd be just maybe roll it off like 6 dB per octave, and drag it down to like maybe, I don't know, 6K, something like that, right? So it's a subtle dip, but you just give the initial frequencies more space before they're swallowed up and mixed by the processed. I'm not sure if this is just a clip, and if so, then never mind. But if that's the intro, it's a little sudden for the vibe. It might be cool to have like a kind of a suck up kind of effect, and then start something sudden like that. Just so it isn't so, if you're thinking about listening to this in a playlist or something like that, or on the radio, it would be a little abrupt. So maybe just kind of some little kind of thing would be cool. And the metallic, the counterbalance synth that you've got in there, the really highly metallic stab, it cuts short every once in a while periodically. I'm not sure if that's a byproduct of some sidechain ducking or what, but it does kind of stand out a little bit in like 2 different points. Hope that helps a bit. Swamp Alive says, "This is sick, reminds me of White Bear a bit. Slow growling electro, steppy halftime, industrial size stuff." Yeah, I think that is actually the category. Like if you look up that genre in the Googles, I think you see a picture of Ben. Sounds like a sick gamer song. Love the 89 BPM heavy groove. Oh my god, the triplets are back. Mix with Mike luffs them. See what he did there. What do we got here? Chase Manhattan, thank you for the follow. Lunch is over. See you next time, OhmLab. You're rocking Sacktown. Shout out to Pops too. All right. Aroma Seraphi, Pablo, thank you for hanging out. Subvid says the low end seems nicely under control. I would agree with that. Swamp of Life, niche genres, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I figured that this was just a clip. If it does start suddenly, some kind of suck would be kind of cool. Gelato beats mid-tempo. Paul, still working on the hot tub? I thought you said a couple days ago that it would be back in business in no time. Mike says, ha ha ha, I'm full of love. What can I say? Oh my goodness. 99 Luff balloons. Anybody else looking for feedback, drop a link in the chat. Subscribers get priority and preference. Swamp music is actually now a genre on Ectoplasm a couple years after our label called Wampy Psy Mid-Tempo Swamp. Oh man, that's awesome. Love hearing little things like that. Filling and balancing today. Tub go time Sunday. Nice. Nice. Back in business in no time, like you said. All right, so I obviously didn't save this thing before jumping into that interview. So let's make sure that I like where we ended up with. Got sound? No sound? Check 1, check 2. Do. It's good, but it's also just a little simple. I want it to be a simple sound, but this is maybe just a little bit too simple. So I think, what's LFO2 doing here? This is 16ths. I'll just up this just a tiny bit. What to do with the sound when you initially think, oh, I'm going to make some keys, and then you ultimately just kind of turn it into something else over time, right? This is LFO1 on this drift, so I could use LFO3. Here's an idea. It's so crazy, it just might work. Okay, that's sneaky, and I like it. Sneaky, sneaky. Putting a super subtle drift on the level of a sub. All right, we'll call this one good for right now. Send this to the undone. We'll call this a lead of some sort. High desert lead, whatever that is. Ben's dropping another link here. What do we got this time? This one. Oh, and this is a question. Should I even finish this? Okay. Let me just scroll down and see if this is... Did you already tell me? All right, so this this new link that you dropped here, Ben, is this you're just wanting to know if it's something you should chase or not? Swamp Alive says, I've been waiting to get into video game audio for as long as I can remember. I had hoped the label licensing to various agencies would be easier, more accessible, but I've run into a bunch of loops and endless chains of emails. Tips? Agencies? It can be tough. I was just speaking with someone yesterday who's looking to break into just getting started with building some kind of licensing portfolio, even in the royalty-free space right now is a little tough to get going, to get past the gatekeeper, if you will. I think it's a byproduct of a couple of things. I think that people have kind of finally wised up over the past couple of years to understand that most people don't get Hans Zimmer kind of pay in royalty deals, and that royalty free is a really great way to get your stuff going. This is one place that you can start looking at. There's a lot of places that you can get into easier than others. Some have a bit more cachet and consistent clientele traffic. Not necessarily agencies per se. There are services, if you are not yet listed in marketplaces, there are services that will list your sounds in these different marketplaces, and they're going to take a split. Now, that may not sound too bad at first, but if you are wanting to get into video game audio specifically, we're talking a lot of very short form sounds. If you're working on the like sound effects and whatnot on that front, the best deal that you're going to get in a marketplace selling sounds like via portfolio rather than like large libraries, you'd be looking at a 50% split. So let's just say that you put a sound up royalty free. It's a single sound. Maybe it's a magic spell or something, and you're going to sell it for like $1 because you're getting started. So you're going to get 50 cents for that on the back end of that transaction. That's pre-tax and other fees, cost of doing business. So it'll take you a little bit of time to amass a decent income doing this. But if you have a whole bunch of stuff, then it's great. Cowd Miller, thank you for the follow. Now just imagine though, if someone says, well, I can get you listed there, but I'm going to take a cut. And these services that are popping up right now, they're offering most people that are new anywhere between 30 and 50% of what they can get you. What you don't understand when you're signing up for these services is that that's after the marketplace itself takes its cut. And oftentimes you can approach those same marketplaces and get your stuff in there. So those are pretty attractive for a lot of people when they're first starting out, thinking, oh, well, I can't even get a response from these guys through email. If I could just get my stuff in there, I know that it would do well. You could approach one of these services, and maybe if you have enough content, you could even haggle with them a little bit and say, hey, I'll let you take 20%. But that's it. I don't know. It's tough. You could always try getting your stuff in through a service like this. They're going to take a cut. Let's say they take 30% of your remaining split from the marketplace. So let's say of that 50 cents, they're going to take 30% of that, right? So now you're talking, what? I don't even know what that is, like 15 cents or something like that. I don't know. So maybe you're looking at like 35 cents for that sale. At least it is something. And then you can list that as a reference when you're approaching other places. You can say, hey, look, I've got my stuff listed in this marketplace. So there's ups and downs to this approach. Agencies isn't really a fair label for these guys, and they're not A&R. They're quite literally just people that they know someone there. They've been putting stuff up into marketplaces for a long time, like myself, and they know people, and they swing a deal, and they just say, hey, look, I can get you a steady drip of talent coming in, and then you can just start ignoring all the emails that come in, excuse me, from people trying to get into the marketplace, right? Because there's lots of people that email every single day at these places. And during the pandemic especially, like, it's not just that people are getting wise to selling creative assets online. That's not it at all, right? I mean, it's only partially that. Right now it's just brutal because now everyone's stuck at home and they're retooling how they exist and how they survive. And people are uploading like mad right now. It takes weeks to hear back. Even if you're an existing contributor or creator in some of these marketplaces or subscription models, you could submit new content and wait a couple of weeks and hear back that it's been rejected. It's just kind of tough to get in right now. So I would say put together a really good showing. Right? If you're trying to sell one-off sounds, consider bundling them or packaging them up into themed packs and shopping them around places. And by shopping them around places, I mean you would have to be okay with the idea of allowing a marketplace to purchase it outright as a buyout. You might find a place that is specializing in sounds for game developers as a marketplace. And if you approach them with a large library of content versus just one-off uploads, then they might be more willing to have a conversation with you. I've had conversations that go something like this. Hey, I'm looking for new points of distribution. I have a rather large archive that I'd be pulling from, and I'm not sure if I really want to go through the upload one at a time kind of thing. This can move your conversation past a gatekeeper pretty quickly, because now they're thinking, oh, well, this person has a lot of content and they've obviously been doing this for a while and they're having this conversation. So maybe we should allow them to sidestep things a bit and perhaps allow them to use our FTP to just put a few gigs worth of stuff up here or something, right? It would save everybody a long time and they would get high quality content quickly as a fast injection into a standing library that usually takes time to get that kind of content pushed through. So the benefit for the end users and shoppers is also there as well, right? More stuff. Which one is this? I can't even read that one. I'm not getting all of my alerts on this end, but I heard it. What was that? It was a gift from nanowires to Guy. An accidental comment deletion. That's funny. Yeah, so anyway, just amassing enough content to have a different kind of conversation, because it would become a burden to go through the normal routes. You don't want to be this entitled person, and you don't want to say, oh, I don't need to, play by the same rules everyone else is playing by. I'm just saying that if you have enough content that would justify a different kind of conversation with the marketplace, then have it. I have no idea where you are in your journey as a content creator. But the more details you share, probably the better advice I can give. Subvid says, do you think it's worth spending on someone to master a project you've done? If so, how do you choose? Or just DIY it? It depends. It depends. If you're not a mastering engineer, you're not going to be as pleased with the results if you do it yourself. But I would also say that if you're not a mastering engineer and you don't have highly trained ears, then you may not even notice a difference between one master versus another outside of a loudness difference. And most people are hearing a massive shift in loudness, but what else are they hearing a shift in, right? If you hear like a true change to the timbral structure of things, and a true dimensional shift in the stereo width and things like that, it becomes more dimensional. That's great. How does it sound on different devices, right? Like if someone really knows their stuff, they're going to make your stuff sound great. It really, really depends. Speedy Ninja, thank you for the follow. Yeah. My queue's a little full, but you could always send it on through to me and take a look at it. How do you choose? Well, some of it is a matter of budget, obviously, right? You're trying out a mastering, like a third-party mastering from who knows what recommendation. You have no idea what you're going to get. Are you willing to spend $300 on it? Are you willing to spend $10 on it? Are you willing to wait a week on it? Are you wanting it the next day? How much time would you expect someone to sit with this thing? I know a lot of people out there that are like, hey, I'll flip your track for $10 or same day and blah, blah. They're working off of presets. They don't even listen through the track the whole way the first time. Everything is in a static position. There's no automation in play. It's a complex thing. How do you choose? If there are examples A, B, or if you've had a conversation and you have a level of trust in this individual, and if they're transparent, if they're willing to send you it might be watermarked, but if they're willing to send you a quick first run through or first stab at something and allow you to give them feedback and get a final product from them after that, then that's a really good place to start, right? Because there's a fluid conversation happening. Swamp Alive. Okay, as a label owner who receives lots of demos, self-masters are almost never sounding as good as pro masters. Yeah, that's the truth, because the people that are mastering are doing it all the time, and they have a good ear for it. There's a reason why they're doing it, right? And there's a reason why a mix is called a mix and a master is called a master. And if you're someone that's only ever done mixing, then you're going to end up with a different mix, is really what it comes down to. Paul, back in 2003, my band had completed our CD and I talked them into having Bob Katz master. Hey, there you go. This company also produced the 1000 CDs we pressed. Nice. Ben says, I master my own tracks, but it's up to you. For a professional master, you need a room designed for mastering. Yeah, well, okay, full disclosure here, though. Ben has also gone to school and sat in rooms with people that are highly skilled. And that's not just a matter of looking at the settings that they use or the tools that they prefer. It has a lot to do with decision making and language and like communication. I know that those things might sound off topic when you're talking about mastering a track, but that's profound when you're trying to dissect how this craft is mastered, for lack of a better term, right? Because everything you're doing is based upon decisions, and the decisions come from both know-how and experience. And without those things, you don't have any benchmarks or standards to guide you. You can have all the best of intentions in the world. It's not like sound design or composition. Intention isn't the problem. It's understanding, right? And knowing how to wield knowledge to get results that are what the client ultimately wants, not necessarily you. Like there's a lot there. So being in an environment where you're surrounded by minds like that doing their things, like Ben has gleaned massive amounts of information that he probably hasn't even finished unpacking himself yet, right? Some of the stuff may have just flown right over his head, but he'll tune back into it somehow with his recall. When he's working on something a couple of years from now, something's gonna, it'll be like a little voice in his head saying, oh, well, maybe what this really needs is a dynamic EQ up high that's responding to something in the mix instead of just a static position. And everything changes, and he's got like this work of art in front of him. So it's almost apples and oranges. Someone who has training, regardless of what level, is always going to have one up over someone that doesn't quite understand the nuances and stuff. Swamp of Life, everyone thinks they know what they want it to sound like, but not all musicians understand acoustics, speaker designs, venues, electricity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a sonically cohesive whole. That's a good way of summing it up, Paul. Swamp of Life says, a mastering agent is supposed to be a ground zero, unbiased source to reflect on your track before pumping it. Some tracks need less, some need more, but an agent is dedicated to that process, whereas you've been in music mode. Mixing down and mastering as you go is great, but final representation should be handed off to pro mastering, who has a dope acoustic treated space. Yeah, this is great, you guys. This is a good conversation. Some serious real talk. Okay, so I just found Ben's answer to my question, which was, is this just a track you want to listen to see if you should chase it or not? Let's go over there and listen to that really quick. Yeah, dude, you should change. You should chase this. A couple things at 30 or so, like as you're going into your drop here. I can kind of get the sense that you aren't sure if you're actively chasing this or not. Right here in the drop, I kind of expect a little bit more or different from you in this, and I think that it kind of like that feeling is there. And then when it comes up out right here, it's just a little clunky. Like maybe, you know, it's got this, what is it, single note? You know? Yeah, so it's like a bop bop bop, and maybe it should be like a little stutter, like a bop bop bop, and then in like maybe it's missing like a dotted 16th in there too for like a super awkward like. And then what was my other one? Halftime shift was an awkward. Oh, it was just a little rough. Love the halftime shift, but the transition. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be more information changing, or more. Maybe there just needs to be like a little, some kind of twisted pitch kind of thing, whether that be, you know, like a tape effect, you know, like a little rewind or a little like pitch bend or something. I just feel like maybe something gets I feel like that and this initial drop are both missing some sort of power / presence that just isn't there that the rest of your track has. So those would be the three that I would zero in on personally first. But I do like the vibe. Swamp of Life, yeah. Spending years finding someone and then finding someone that you can work with is priceless, regardless of what the budget requirements are. Absolutely. Guy, I just read your deleted. Dr. Slaps, thanks for the follow. You sent an email. Worked on a song last night, totally inspired by Paul's stream and medical edibles. Hopelessly stuck not knowing how to turn it into a good song, the typical. So let me jump over and check the inbox then. Hey, Ben, did any of that feedback resonate? All right, so this is from Guy. I have about 4 hours invested into this. Was thinking making the chorus bits the verses and try to make the drops more exciting and varied, wondering if you have any ideas about how I could do that, or if I should just leave the arrangement how it is and try to make it more interesting in another way. I get stuck at about this point in the writing process every time. All right, so let's check it, shall we? Um, Guy, this is more of a real talk thing than it is a feedback thing. This is not an arrangement or a creative ideas thing holding back this track or other things that you've sent in. This is a you thing. Just really quick though, before I get into all that in just one sec, Swamp of Life is answering this question. OhmLab, you're a label owner with 40 releases and trying to license. Totally different ball game. Send me a link to your stuff. What kind of stuff is it? How unique is it? Because with that, and I'd also like to know if you're wanting just general licensing opportunities, or specifically only within the video game industry. I'm just kind of scrolling as I'm reading here. Thanks for the dope advice. Sorry, contracts and licensing. Yeah, absolutely, of course. The reason I ask is because if it's not just video games that you're wanting to get it into, I mean, think about video games, right? Unless you're making sound effects, then what you really want is cinematic opportunities, because the video game world has replaced the movie world by and large. And like, let's just all come to terms with it. It's the new ultimate destination, and getting your stuff into a movie is it pays just as well. Like there's other opportunities out there, and if you're open to a broader scope of opportunities, then I would think that a boutique agency would be more up your alley. I bet. I would just need to know a little bit more about the music itself, the sounds itself. Ricky, hype train. Right, dude, if all of these gift subs were happening in that same little window of time instead of spread out over a few hours, there absolutely would have been a really good hype train there. Guy, it's very hard to get good at music. Why is that? Okay, so dude, seriously, that question right there is exactly the point that I want to make here really quick. And Paul, I see your comments about the League of Crafty Sound Designers. It is coming. That is the ultimate goal of this iteration of the community. Produce, bounce, repeat. Produce, bounce, repeat. Produce, bounce, repeat. You ever go somewhere new and do something completely new that you've always wanted to, and then when you get there and you do it, you realize I'm out of my depth, and you're surrounded by people that are doing it like the way that you've always imagined it being done, like ice skating or roller skating or something like that is a brilliant example of this, where you're thinking, oh, I can do this. Like, it looks so great. These people are just moving around so fluidly in this movie or on TV or whatever, and I want the chance to do that. And you get out there, and you're like, okay, this isn't bad. Like, you put the roller skates on or whatever, right? And you're on the carpet, right, before you get out there. And you're like, okay, I think I can probably do this. And you're a little wobbly, right? And then you get out there and wham, like as soon as you touch the floor, all of a sudden you're just on your butt. And you don't even know how you got there. And people are just flying right by you, and they're inevitably, you've got those people that are like, they spin around and they do this backward skate with like one heel up the whole time, just kind of looking at you like, are you okay? They're not even looking where they're going, and they're still curving around the rink, right? Dude, they fell a lot. We all fall a lot, and the fear of falling is crippling. The feeling of falling when you're actually out there doing something you want is absolutely nothing. It's get up, dust yourself off, and go again. And I think that we hold things a little bit differently internally when we're talking about some sort of like physical activity or career chase or career path or workplace accomplishments or academic achievements versus art, like something that you're actually passionate about in a different way because you birthed it, you created it. It was an idea that was inside of you. Whether you could actually pinpoint it and say, this is my idea, it doesn't matter. You were kind of a conduit. You brought this into being. And the fear of falling with something like that is completely different than falling out of a tree or falling down with roller skates or whatever. Like, you can dust yourself off and get back up and going because that's what you do, because you're a walking, moving creature, right? And if you fall, you're going to get back up because you're a walking creature. Well, the same needs to be true with your craft, which means there isn't anything wrong with that track. That's a really good example of a track that you could bounce right now and say, that's done. And now you want to do something different with it. Then remix it and start having fun with it and remind yourself why it felt fun when you started working on it. And it'll remind you of why music is fun and all sorts of things. It's a little mental fractal that we get ourselves stuck in, I think. And you just got to bounce and repeat. Produce, bounce, repeat. Your question about why is it so very hard to get good at music? And it's not. When we're little, it's almost as if we just kind of fall out of our mamas into this world and we're like full of creative inspiration and ideas, and it just gets beat out of us, right? Like, we have these really great games and we're seeing things that other people can't see. The world is very colorful. Lots and lots of happy, silly thoughts. There's very little inhibition. And with every single awkward glance that you get from people, or questioning look, or, pointing finger and someone saying, stop it, or don't do it that way, or you're too loud, or whatever, each one of those things is one more notch up this pole, so to speak, right? It's setting a standard, and it makes it harder for us to trust that our stuff is good and blah, 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 blah. So all you have to do is produce, bounce, repeat. As soon as you get done producing something, get back in there and produce another thing and bounce it, and start telling yourself that, hey, that's good enough to be done. And it doesn't have to be good enough to be at number one in some chart somewhere, because that's fairly meaningless. I mean, it's a great accomplishment, and you got to get your stuff out. And you can't get better at something unless you're practicing that thing all the way through, right? Like, you start playing chess, you want to win a bunch, but you always quit halfway through a game, you're never going to win. So how do you know how to get better at winning? You know what I mean? You just got to call something done at some point, and it's going to feel awkward. And then eventually you just won't even care anymore. And that's a really great spot to find yourself in, because you're going to get sick of that, and you're really going to want to care. And then things start to click in a different way, because you start to move with greater intention, and you learn what those intentions are when you're doing stuff like remixing a track like this one that you just shared. So anyway, I don't need to be on a soapbox about it, but it's not an arrangement thing. It's not a creative idea thing. It's a you thing, and we all have it. And it's something that you absolutely get through and past and beyond again and again and again. It's not like a one-time thing. It's something that it's like a reoccurring theme. And it's not just imposter syndrome or like childhood trauma. It's also like just a real legitimate, I care about what I'm doing and I don't want it to fail because I'm investing all of this time, or yeah. Saffron says, if it's for vinyl, get a mastering engineer. Absolutely. Paul says, get someone who has Grammys. Leave my grandmother out of it, says Guy. Oh my goodness. Mopes back to the basement. Very nice. Oh man. Guy, your comment about needing to stop saving effects and articulation for last because this song moves so nicely. Yeah, like organic flow and all of that, and change and tension, all of that comes from being in the moment. And don't be too systematic about, like, don't follow a recipe every single time. This isn't cooking. Like, you don't have to wait till the end to add salt. You can play very freely. It's a non-linear process for sure. Shout out the snail samples. Welcome, Jump System. And thank you for the sub. Decent point from Swamp Alive there, Ben. Seems like the top end of the kick is really in the back of everything, and usually in the genre has more high-end punch. Yep, I agree with PJ on the, I like the idea, but the switch-ups were tough. Man, chat's on point today. You guys are great for each other and to each other. I'm enjoying watching this community build up here. Yeah, a fill would be dope at that halftime there. Good points. Good points. Nice, Ben. You know, you've got to be one of the most receptive dudes when it comes to feedback about stuff, and the way that you end up incorporating it has always been great. Well, Dr. Slaps, thanks for sticking around, and welcome to your first time around. I hope it's been all right. Speedy Ninja, welcome, by the way, and thank you for the sub. Quick question: I would like to dabble in Serum and FL Studio, but I'd rather learn on free software before investing money into it. Would you have any recommendations? Yeah, what are you using right now? That would be my very first question. And by that, I mean, what's your DAW? Is it FL Studio? And what computer are you using? Like, you know, Windows or Mac or what? Everything has a free trial right now. If you're on a Mac, you can try Logic. If you're on Windows, you can't. Everything else is universal. Guy, so, you know, it's a decent point about the vocals on both ends, but I would say if you just grab some chops just from your DAW or something and start playing with them in a sampler, you would come up with some cool ideas. It doesn't have to be a story that the vocals are singing through. It can absolutely be, it can absolutely just be little chops, twisted up in different ways and let them float around in the ether a bit. You know, you've got a really decent structure there, and if you were to toss some stuff up on top of it and let it fly around in the air a little bit, you don't have to worry about the arrangement not being as meaningful. You know what I mean? People find interest in music for a lot of different reasons, but you don't need to be working like with a vocalist. Yeah, I would agree with Ben that that's totally a sync piece of music, though. That's absolutely something that you would put up into a licensing portfolio. Absolutely. Because it's not demanding all the attention. It's got to be supportive, and it's got to be something that is fine being in the background. And if it's like this heavy banger, then it's going to get all the attention in the scene, and it's just not going to work for sync stuff. So Swamp of Life is responding here. Yeah, man, super open to cinematic and all licensing ops. Our sound is sort of mostly mid-tempo with a lot of size sound. Design cinematic elements. Our label has always been about cultivating and collecting type sound artists making money, people who want to push genres around. Yeah, okay, so let me just click through here. I will click your link. Mm-hmm. There are different boutique agencies that you can reach out to get stuff like this in front of people that are looking for stuff like this, and that's a better way to go. You're obviously, I mean, you're running a label. You're wanting to hustle for other folks. So it's got to be the right one. I'm not sure what Marmoset's looking for at the moment, but I would assume. Let's just see if they've expanded their categories here. Yeah, they have a bit. I would contact someone definitely on the boutique side of things and just let them know that you are a label owner that's looking for a best fit scenario for a long-term relationship. And do you think that the people on your label, the different artists on your label, do you think that they're open to producing for clientele that could come in or that could come into the pipeline through having their stuff up for grabs and licensing? Or do you think that they're more just looking for sales opportunities? Like, I made this thing, someone wants to put it in a commercial, that's dope. Boom, right there. Saffron, quote of the day right there. Music is like photography. You have to take a lot to get the best photos. Yeah, because you can't always just have that shot. You can't always just have happy accidents. It's not something that you can depend upon. So getting back to that, like, you build a lot of expectations when you put something great into the world, and that's half the fear that a lot of people have. Like, they're not necessarily afraid that it's not going to do well. They made something. They know how good it is. If they put it out there, people will go nuts. Can they do it again? That's the question. Are they a poser? Like, these are the things inside their head, right, that people aren't talking about. But that's it. That's why you gotta produce, bounce, repeat. You've got to get through enough. You've got to feel like, and nowadays with the digital photos, it's super easy, right? We've all gone out there and in a day filled up a ridiculous number of photos on our phone. We just like endless scroll, right? You got to get there with your sounds and stuff too. Start with sounds, move on to tracks. The more presets and samples that you save in your production process, the easier all of this becomes, because you gain a very different perspective on all of it. You start to, there's a massive shift in value perspective. And it's not a consumer thing, it's a creator thing. You're not looking at it from like a price value perspective. You're looking at it more as a input output value perspective. Like, is what I poured into this, is what I'm getting out of this in balance with what I put into it. And when you add in that extraneous layer of am I capable of reproducing greatness, is basically you're asking yourself, am I great? And that's a pretty hard thing for a lot of people. So you just sidestep it. You don't have to actually get past all of it. Like the imposter syndrome stuff may never go away. You just kind of have to step around it a little bit by bouncing a lot. Speedy Ninja says, hey, Chris, new to the channel, love the conversation, looking to start streaming and making content. Thanks for the motivation. Yeah, you bet. Absolutely. Absolutely. More people should do it. Everyone has an issue not finishing tracks. Oh yeah, dude, if you were to peek people's hard drives, oh, the number of things completed versus not completed. If I wrote books, you would read them all. You can watch lots of videos and hear my random thoughts. Do it, Speedy. Stream twice. Train wrecks. It's so much fun. Yeah. You bet, Ben. I hope that the feedback was good and that you can get on board with it, or that it vibed. And Dr. Slaps, you bet. I'm glad the advice was constructive. Bitwig is native on Linux. Yes, that's true. Ableton is the 799-pound gorilla. Right. Yeah, Ricky points out that Surge is free. Yeah, absolutely. What is that, Helm? Is that what that one is? Forgot. Speedy responds with, at OhmLab, I don't have a DAW yet, trying a couple that Chuck recommended. Definitely extremely new to making music in DAWs, only watched a few YouTube videos. Oh, that's a great thing, man. That's a great thing. You just go with the one that actually feels like fun. If you're clicking a lot and asking yourself lots and lots of questions and you feel like maybe you shouldn't be, switch it up, try the other one and see if those same feelings exist. And try and go with a flow if you find it. Windows is your OS as well. Yeah, it really depends on what kind of mental approach you have with most things. Ableton is a very different production experience compared to Cubase, for instance. They're just different. But try them and see which one actually feels right. It's got to be fun. Yeah, Reaper is great. Paul points out that Reaper is free, and I would say that it's great. Guy second Surge as well. And it comes with a ton of great plugins. That is also true. Reaper is quality. Whoa, hey, I think I might have actually caught up with the chat here. Man. Yeah, Swamp, absolutely. To do toll processing for sound projects, yeah. Well, one nice thing about Ableton is the large and thriving community that is on a much more innovative path than the cumulative user base of most other DAWs. I think that Logic is well, I think it's winning out against the other traditional studio form DAWs long run, because it's incorporating ideas and desires of the Ableton crowd in a way that's actually vibing, which is impressive. because they're still keeping the full studio experience, right? So it still works for people that are working in sync and sound design and mixing and mastering. It's not just more of like a, Ableton was much more of like a performance driven tool initially. And it then circled back and became more of a holistic studio tool, where the others started more from the studio perspective and tried to get better at the performance side of things. So just different starting points, and therefore you have different, you have different outcomes, totally different tool sets or ways of approaching the similar thing or whatever. Okay, so licensing, but also as a talent house. Yeah, so Swamp of Life, that's probably what I would do. I would approach a boutique agency and just say, I want something long-term. The people on my label do too. So here is our library of goods right now, and all of it is freely accessible to your clientele. And let's just figure out some kind of somewhat static position or like standardized range that everyone on your label would be willing to part with things for, and that works well with the standards of the agency, right, and their clientele. It's pretty easy to do. And then just say, we are willing to enter into bespoke contract with people. Like when people are looking for something original, we are willing to fulfill needs, or perhaps even produce for said agency, right? Like in-house type stuff. I think if you were open in your conversation that way, that one of these places would be receptive to that, because having people to work with long-term is where everything must go soon. It's great that we're all, that everyone's trying to find like the Netflix model of every industry right now, and that we're throwing all you can eat, every unlimited condiment you can imagine on every platform. We're going to give you 400 movies a week that are brand new that you've never heard of before, or we're going to give you 82 sound packs a week, or, it's just like, where does it stop? You can't look through all that content. You can't use that content. It's diminishing value in so many different ways. So small creative teams is where everything is going long-term, under the umbrella of like subscription, right? And if you do that, then you have a protected ecosystem, right? You have you've established what the creative crew is. They're your hustling ninjas that keep it all going, and you've got the clientele that will pay out the nose for it, and everyone's happy because everybody's getting what they want. Yeah, Bitwig over Ableton. A bit more modular minded, if you will. Dr. Slaps, good question. I haven't seen Sed around for a minute. We should reach out to him and see how he's doing. But there are a couple of Studio One users in the community here. And this channel has only been up for a couple of months. The OhmLab community in general has been around for over a decade, but we're just firing up a brand new channel here and letting it grow organically on Twitch to see what happens. Yeah, and PJ makes a good point too of there are so many free effects and instruments out there. You get yourself a DAW, and you can grab a free one right now because all of them have these long-running demos because of the pandemic. And grab yourself Kontakt. Like, go and get the free player version of the different tools from Native Instruments. You'll want Reaktor, and you'll want Kontakt, and Guitar Rig, right? And the reason why you'll want those is because there's lots and lots of free resources out there. It's not always about like what's the best tool or whatever when you're first getting started. If you can tap into free and it inspires you, then you have all of the same tools and things that you need that a $1 million producer has. It's the truth. Think about the best albums of all time. Not many people say that they were produced this year or last year. Usually they're saying something like, you know, this album that was produced in 68 or 88 or whatever. And think about what tools they had. Were they even in a DAW? Swamp Alive says, unpopular opinion, designing something for the lowest common denominator, shared communal democracy on new features, will take the path away from true innovation. Well, in a way, I think there's kind of this duplicitous nature to it. I think that it's a natural cycle, personally, because I am personally for the further democratization and greater transparency in all areas of our industry, because I feel that the creators were very much, he's very, I don't want to say oppressed, exploited. And the more you know, the less likely you are to be exploited. There are plenty of ways that we can all continue to work together and find shared growth and wealth, and when that happens, I think everyone is better. But I think that the true innovation cycle is absolutely tethered to the whole lowest common denominator thing, because you lose bearing on value eventually when volume of things stacks up, and innovation and uniqueness cuts through all of that, and it's kind of like a reset button or something. You bet, Speedy Ninja. Thank you. Eric, welcome back. Yeah, we're still going. I should probably power down. Yeah, Ricky, capitalism. That's it. Absolutely. Ben says, thank you, Chris. Finally, someone who understands economics and music. Oh, wait, you did that already and people suck. Saf says, I wonder if I'm qualified to be a video game composer for all the music I make. It's more about making a piece of music and then putting it in front of people. Exactly. Ben nails it right there. The moment you sync a track, you begin that journey. Absolutely. Andrew Wong is a really, really good beginner's course on monthly for someone just starting. Yeah. Yep. And he's a fantastic human. So there you go. Support good people. Oh, well, hey, this has been a ton of fun. Kind of lost track of time a bit. Normally we've wrapped up about 40 minutes ago or so. And I got a boogie. I appreciate all of you for hanging out so long today. PJ, thank you so much for hanging all day with us. I really do appreciate it. Let's do it again soon. Paul, Swamp Alive, Guy, Saffron, Nano, all of you. Cheers. Who is here? Bunch. I see you lurking. Chase Manhattan. Dinu. Dr. Slaps. Andremia. Eric. Ildelera? Cowd Miller. Need him. Purple Pros. Ruben Luis. Speedy Ninja. Tom Toms. Ooh, I like that one. Tom Toms. That's funny. The Loudest Rat. Ricky. V&K. Virgo Pros. All of you. Big love. Loved the roller skates. Awesome. All right, kitty cats. I'll see you on the flip side. Y'all have a great weekend. Hope reality starts treating us all better soon. Until then, we will reconvene in our virtual world. We'll set our own tone. All right, Ricky. Everybody else, I will see you on the flip Monday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific. Tune in, and I will be there. Peace out.